Hi, I'm Jason, and welcome back to Simple Strategy, your go-to for tabletop tips and tricks. Today we're looking at Pillars of the Earth by Cosmos. During the resource phase, you can maximize the materials you collect by taking more efficient resource cards. Unless you plan to go really deep on a single resource, grabbing the more efficient resource cards is better, as it will allow you to get more total resources and leave you with a larger number of workers that can collect gold at the wool mill. Jumping ahead to Phase 2, Master Builder Placement, let's talk about the amount of gold you should be willing to spend on each action. Now, there's no definitive best spot, but some good ones are the first space in the King's Court, 2 victory points in the Kingsbridge Priory, and the Craftsman and Privilege spaces, depending on what cards they have. Being first in the King's Court grants you a medal, which has many applications, and when paired with the exemption from taxes, almost always makes going here worth it, though I wouldn't be too excited if I have to pay over 5 gold for it. Pure victory points are often seen as boring, but that doesn't mean they're bad. Especially in the early game, even a full 7 gold for 2 points is more efficient than, say, using 7 workers to accumulate 4 sand, which is only 1 1/3 points with a mortar mixer. And 3 coins for the single point at the Kingsbridge Priory is about equivalent and also really good. If these are ever 1 or 2 gold per point, definitely snatch them up. Craftsman and Privilege cards can be super high value, but they're difficult to evaluate as their relevance is always situation-based. Depending on the card, I might be willing to pay a full 7 gold for it, or maybe I'm only willing to take it if it's entirely free. One of the best craftsmen is the woodworker that produces gold instead of points. This is only in the first era, and I would always try to get it, even if I have to pay more than it's technically worth. As far as privilege cards, the best cards are the ones that give you a lasting effect, but they get worse as the game goes on. The 3 increased production cards, Jack, and Prior Philip are all good enough that I'd spend about 5 coins on them in the first or second era, but each round after that I'd only take them if they cost very little. Ellen and Otto Blackface can also be very helpful if you get them early, but I wouldn't spend more than probably 3 coins on them. Securing the first player spot can be crucial to setting up a good era. Unless I absolutely need all 3 other actions, I would always take this spot for free, and even sometimes for a couple coins. If you're already next in line for starting player, placing here still ensures that it can't be stolen from you. And in the 5th era, heading into the 6th, I will actively fight for this space by throwing back opponents' master builders, and I'm often willing to pay all 7 coins to claim it. Being first in the last era is a massive advantage that is not to be underestimated. As for the remaining master builder spaces, the Archbishop's office is fine, but at worst just a resource, so I don't like paying much for it. Borrowing workers from the Shiring Castle is only good if the 2 additional workers allow you to claim an extra resource card, which is hard to ensure. Otherwise, this gives you just 2 gold when they go to the wool mill. The market and remaining spots at the King's Court are low value, and usually harbor the last few master builders. Even so, if you desperately need to buy or sell, take a seat at the market, and when all else fails, save a couple gold by visiting the King's Court. You've just leveled up. Thanks for watching Simple Strategy. If you have any tips of your own, just leave them in the comments below. Tell us what board games you want to see in future videos, and we will see you then.